I find satisfying about cutting up a perfectly good Defender. We just have some extra bits now. Welcome back to the Lost Cause Ranch. Today, we install the world's smallest jungle gym. It's kind of like a monkey bar. I guess it's just a bar. That is right, we are back on the LS3 Swap Defender. And today's modification is for those people that are taller than me. That is probably the majority of the world. We are cutting the rear tub apart. We're gonna get rid of most of the sheet metal here and replace it with this bar and these bits here. This allows for a little more open air feel in the center and a little more room to slide the seats back. Because these guys are definitely known for their leg room. You can see right here, someone already cut out the lip on what was the driver's side so the seat could be moved back some. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of the rest of that. And the first step for this bulkhead removal bar is to remove the bulkhead. Who would have thought? Now essentially everything you see here on this side will be removed. We'll do this in a couple sections. We'll get rid of this center section first and then work on getting these corners out. And each side gets cut from about here across and we'll fancy that up. Then we can get that bar bolted in. These side bars will go in that vicinity. That bolts to that. These bolt to the seatbelt mounts. That adds the structural integrity that is lost back in after cutting out this guy. The NAS spec Defenders were set up this way. It was just a much nicer, cleaner, roomier interior setup. We'll drill the rivets out of that guy. There was one over there, but someone did that work for me already. If you were that person over in England, I appreciate you. Is gonna look pretty crude now, but we're gonna come in with the Sawzall, zip it down, and what we're aiming for is we're gonna cut above this flange all the way around, and then right about at this bend all the way across and match the other side. In the instructions, they want you to have a clean cut around that edge and then leave these. That is where that rear seat box is riveted to this. We're going to do it a little bit different way, so we're not worried about the cleanliness yet. I'll show you when we get to that point, but these little flanges are going to go bye-bye. We don't want this random 1-inch chunk of sheet metal hanging out in the middle of nowhere. It is starting to get a little more airy in here already. Told you it was going to be a little rough. I wasn't lying about that. This bottom edge, we are going to use a flap wheel and flush that up at the end of this, make that all pretty. It'll get re-seam sealed before paint. Back here, you can see we got a couple spot welds and the butt of one rivet. We'll cut that off, drill those out. Then we got to come in and cut across and make sure we don't cut through the side here. That wouldn't be too great. We also got to be careful drilling. That's the outer skin right there, so we don't have a whole lot of room for screw ups. Gotta do it on that side too. Kind of getting a little peek at what it's going to look like here. Kind of see why we're going to change up from what they want in the instructions. Having that random lip is just plain ugly. We don't want that. But before we get into that, we need to get rid of this little guy sticking out in the middle of nowhere. We'll make a line from about yay to yay, then slice it off. three-wheeler update. Working on the tires. Those look like they're just gonna beat up. We'll get these side pieces set in there. We're gonna pop this rivet off. Instructions say we need a 10.5 millimeter drill bit. Well, there's a problem. I don't see 10.5. That is right, the US is still backwards. We'll just use the universal guy here. It looks about 10.5 millimeters to me. Line it up with that 10.5 millimeter hole we just punched out and mark our other two holes. Now we're gonna test fit everything. I may have to get rid of this rivet. It's gonna stop this top flange from being flush. But I do like that they have the bumps on these guys to make up for the height difference from that hole to that hole. Actually pretty nice. Bolted up on this side, lined up on the seatbelt holes, and we're even bolted up on this side. All we gotta do is punch some holes there. So we just went through all the work of bolting this guy on. Time to unbolt it. So two of the holes drilled. Only problem now is drill doesn't quite fit back there. We're just gonna come to the back side of the wheel well and use our bracket to mark out that one hole and drill it from here. So we got some aluminum angle. We have two 12-inch ones and two 7-inch pieces. We're gonna use these to get rid of that ugly flange. I can't take full credit for this. I believe I saw this on Britannica restorations. I'm sure eventually we would have came up with a similar solution, but every once in a while it's nice to not have to use the brain power to sort every little thing out. But these guys are going to go one up top there and one on the side there. We'll rivet those through, and that'll hold this front panel onto those. Then we can slice that off. So we ran a couple self-tappers through to hold the angle in place, and now we can rivet it. Just need to mark out where to do that at. Now that we're close to the edge, we finish it off by hand. Because once again, we definitely don't want to go through the outer skin. Man, that is much nicer looking opened up. And then with that little flange gone, these rear tubs are a lot cleaner, and we have this lip cleaned up as well. Look at how much that opens that guy up. Just about at the point of putting the bar back in. We have one little thing to do before that. It's not done by most or in the instructions, but we are going to fabricate a piece to close off this little panel there. So we'll go from there to there, flush it off. If you're gonna do something, it's worth doing right. So we got our little piece. Put it in the right way, and that guy will fit in like that. Clean that edge up a ton. So what do you guys prefer, that or that? Not the biggest thing in the world, but stuff like that makes me happy. I don't know about you guys, but there is something I find satisfying about cutting up a perfectly good Defender. We just have some extra bits now. We're gonna leave these loose on both sides until we get the bar in. Once the bar is in and bolted there, we can snug it all up. Hopefully it still fits. Alright, we're gonna have to flex some stuff to make this all happy. That looks pretty slick in there. I think that is the move on these guys. Look at how much more open that is. And look at all the garbage we got rid of. That's our bulkhead in pieces. Never to be seen again in this Defender. That's pretty stout. I mean, that bar is obviously going to be stronger than the sheet metal across. Not that we were worried about that. The big thing though, we'll be able to install quite a bit more leg room whenever we get our new seats in. I'm super happy with that. Those filler panels turned out nice. That looks good. So much nicer without that lip left on. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. A little low light, but you can see our angle brackets made up. Those secure that nicely. When it comes to bodywork stage, we will seam sealer this top and bottom. And these tubs will probably be carpeted. I don't think we'll do carpet there. We'll do something else on the deck. But we made our little Defender 90 quite roomier today. With that being said, appreciate you guys watching. Appreciate you subscribing. We'll keep hammering away on this little LS3 Defender. God, having so much fun again. We'll catch you guys on the next one. What'd you just look at it?